Hi guys, hey, I'm here, meet everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene. It's actually a little bit better out here than I thought. I thought today was going to be kind of cold, but I'm in the sun right now, so that probably might be why it's a little warmer. I promised to come and no cookies, no cakes, no anything other than a Diet Coke, and that's what I got. And wanted to talk about, first of all, about Milton. And also, I want to talk about a little about Asperger's and overstimulation, because even though women are relatively good at masking, so they can appear neurotypical, we're not perfect. We're not saints, and we do struggle with Asperger's, and so this just is. Tilt this up here a bit. It's a little bit low. Okay, so we tend to we have a threshold where we kind of can't really cope much anymore. When you're doing panels like we are, 5-6 people at a time, and they're all talking over each other, it's not their fault. Let's be honest here. It's not their fault. The problem is there's latencies in the internet. So one person may be talking, and by the time it shows up to the other people, it may be like a second, 2 seconds later, and then the person on the other side thought there was a gap, and then they start talking, and then the other person's comments are showing up when they start talking, and that's very hard on them, because it's not that they're trying to be rude, it just happens because everybody get internet speeds are all different, and even if you had analog phone calls, it would have been the same thing, because phone wires are different lengths, and there's so some phone lines may be really short, right? You're near the central office, and other phone wires may be really long, or maybe going through multiple central offices, and resulting in very inconsistent delays. Okay, but with the internet, it's a little more pronounced, because there's a lot of processing in between you and there. So, people with Asperger's, we try. I mean, I do. I'm sure others try too. Try really hard to not get overwhelmed with too many people on panel at once. I'm doing them about better than I used to be, but it's just a lot of stuff to do, and it gets really confusing. Okay, so. Yeah, no, we'll just try to do this we can. All right, so Hurricane Milton. This thing is now spawning tornadoes in addition to everything else. Now, tornadoes are a lot more scary than the hurricane itself, because we know what the hurricane's going to do. We know where the hurricane path is. We know what the hurricane track is. The tornadoes can show up anywhere, and this makes it even more scary. So what's going to happen is people in the middle central Florida need to be careful of the tornadoes, because they are a real thing, okay? They also can suddenly show up and with no real warning. So be careful with that. Okay? I am concerned for people in Florida. Okay? I do not seem like I should be a kind of person that really should be concerned because I live in Connecticut. Well, when we had Hurricane Irene and Hurricane Sandy, we were spared a lot of the damage from Sandy. But we were not spared a lot of damage from Irene. Irene was a major water buster over here in Connecticut. So what happened was, this is around 2011, all of a sudden, our roof at that time was really seriously getting old and needed to be replaced. All Irene's rain, torrential rains, came through our roof, came through my ceiling in my bedroom, and immediately caused severe damage to my ceiling in my bedroom. The ceiling we have now was put in after that because of the damage. Okay. Now, so the hurricane decimated everything. Okay. All my ceiling at the foot of my bed came down. The plaster and the sheetrock, both, all came down. So my landlord decided to redo the whole ceiling, and at my suggestions, I'm glad he did. Number one, we installed a proper ceiling box for the light fixture. Number two, we properly insulated the ceiling, which helps a lot in the summer for air conditioning. Unfortunately, we never insulated the walls, and so the room could still get really cold in the wintertime because of the walls not insulated. But that's okay. It will be fixed one day. So, I want to point out, like I said, is that it's scary. If you've never been through a weather event like this, you have no idea what's going to happen. Especially when you're told to do a mandatory evacuation. And all of a sudden, so many people in Florida have been through this enough times that that's kind of second nature for them. They kind of get it. But for first timers in Florida or any event like this is scary. You can't figure it out because you've never been through it. Everybody's told you about it. You've read books about it, but to actually experience extremely high, powerful, dangerous winds and seeing everything rattling and shaking and things like road signs ready to take off and become flying javelins and spears is really completely different from just reading about it. Trust me, you never seen fear as much as seeing a stop sign basically take flight. And let's be honest, plywood is not going to totally stop something's going through your walls. Notice I said walls because everybody says, well, we got to cover the windows with glass. Well, okay. That makes sense. Well, if the storm's strong enough, a wall, a piece of debris can go through your wall. Never mind a window. And what makes these hurricanes even more devastating? Tornadoes are more frightening because you can't really plan where they're going to go. But the hurricane can kind of prepare for it. So let's talk about that, about the tornado aspect of the hurricanes. And this applies also to Tornado Alley, the Midwest. Number one, when you hear a tornado siren going off, first thing to do, get the hell out of harm's way if you can. If you can't, look for a tornado shelter, okay? Because if you don't have a tornado shelter, you really want to be the innermost room in the house, because anything that I mentioned is going to go flying. 2x4s, rocks, bricks, cars, human bodies, whatever, okay? You are basically, you are a target in a shooting gallery, okay? Now, this next one may sound kind of stupid, but I don't think it's meant to be. Someone says, leave a window open a crack, at least like an inch or two. The reason is because of pressure equalization to prevent your home from popping like a bubble. That may sound silly, but it is, a tornado is going to create a negative vortex pressure, and so it's going to, anything that's enveloped is going to see a negative pressure. So if you have a higher pressure in your home, what's going to happen is it's going to cause it to explode outward because of the pressure differentials. So yes, I agree with the window being open. You don't have to keep it open all the way. So maybe like about an inch, 2 inches. But still, stay away from all windows. Okay? Innermost room. Oh, if you're like me, you got a bathroom, right? It's in the innermost part of the building. You got a cast iron bathtub. If you're really, really worried about it, especially the EF5, you're not going to probably survive any EF5, right? Nah, not necessarily, because you might. Because here's how. Get in your bathtub. If your bathtub is like mine, there's no cast iron clawfoot tub. That is at least 30 millimeters, or about 8 millimeters thick walls in the cast iron tub like that. 8 millimeter wall, maybe 5 millimeters minimum. That is going to be a very good shield against most debris that could potentially go through the wall of your building. If you happen to be in a cast iron tub and you're like laying low, really low, what's going to happen is that tub is going to deflect a lot of the damage. Okay, keep that in mind. Also, make sure you have a working phone. Now, when I say working phone, I don't mean just one type of phone. But if you have multiple types of phones, i.e. a landline and a cell phone, a landline is more than likely is going to still be working after a hurricane or a tornado. You can't say the same thing with a cell phone because the cell tower could be knocked offline too. But definitely have a working phone, okay? Also, because it's not going to be just you that's affected, let other people know where you are so that, like for example, emergency services. If, especially tornado, is very important because it's so widespread damage. It's very localized actually, because the way most EF5s work. You definitely are going to want to let your local emergency responder know where you are, especially if you are handicapped. If you may have a hard time getting out because of damage, because of tornado, call up your emergency response center, not 911, not the emergency call number, that's not needed. Just call your local police or fire department. Explain who you are and why you're calling. They should take notes of your information. That way, after the storm is over, hopefully the responders are going to get back to you and check on your well-being. And that's important because you may not be able to call them if your phone lines are damaged. Okay. Let's not forget food, water, and some kind of lighting or illumination. Food. How long are you going to be without power? Don't know. What kind of food do you have? Do you have any food? Do you have anything you can eat? Do you have a couple weeks worth? As we're finding out in North Carolina, one prediction is that they could be without power for over 6 months to a year because of damage. That means you can forget frozen entrees because there won't be no way to keep your food cold. They'll go bad, okay? You can forget being able to cook it because unless you have a gas stove or maybe access to a wood stove, there's no way to cook your food. It's good as dead to you. You're not going to be able to use it, all right? Things like you could use is things like canned soups. Canned soups can be eaten cold because they don't need refrigeration until you're done eating them. So when you say, for example, a can of chunky soup, yeah, it's not warm and it's not going to be this tasty cold, but if it really came down to it, you could at least eat it. Meal bars, granola bars, nuts, dry cereal. Why you might have some dry milk on hand too. All of this stuff, it should actually be, everybody should have some of this stuff in their pantry somewhere. Powdered milk or condensed milk. There is technically a difference between powdered and condensed milk, besides obviously the density. Or you can get what they call non-refrigerated ultra pasteurized milk as well. If you drink a lot of milk, you're going to want that on hand, okay? But now, for people right now experiencing Milton, you already know this. At least most of you do, right? You already know that. I'm just doing your regular singing dance. You already know this. It's the newbies that don't that are probably going to be the ones that are going to be freaking out. This is another thing. The experienced hurricane survivors should help newbies learn how to prepare for the next one. Because they don't know. They may not know where the emergency shelters are. They may not know who to call. And it's a scary, scary, scary thing. I went through with Irene. I went through with Sandy. So I'm just telling you. It helps if you have experience that to help the newbies to at least avoid making life-threatening mistakes. Okay, now let's talk about the life-threatening mistakes that really should be avoided. Gasoline, propane, or diesel generators are meant to be used outdoors, or if it is a permanently mounted generator, is meant to be used in a properly vented enclosure. Okay, not meant to be just thrown in a garage and then closing the garage door, saying, "Oh, it's in the garage, I'm safe." No, carbon monoxide builds up, it'll kill you. This is important. Generators must be vented to the outside. Now, in case of permanently mounted generators, your electrician also needs to install a proper and safe transfer switch. So, therefore, they can install a properly commercial generator with proper ventilation if you have to mount it in the house. Okay. If not mounted properly, you can seriously not only electrocute yourself, gas yourself, but some respective lineman on the pole where a proper transfer safety switch is not installed could get electrocuted, thinking that there's no power, and then all of a sudden he's got electricity coming right back in the line. please install your generator in accordance with the National Electrical Code and make sure that it is properly wired and safely tested. And if it's a portable generator, make sure it's ventilated outdoors, not in your garage. I know you don't want to see your generator rust. I get it. But please be careful. All right? This is important. Now, the same also applies with cooking appliances. If you're cooking on propane or natural gas, please use the appliance in accordance with the manufacturer's manual. If it says use outside, use it outside. If you're cooking with common fuel, that is, they're known as white gas or naphtha or drip gas or whatever, make sure you understand this stuff is highly combustible and can get fire can start and can get out of control real quickly. Please proper and exercise safe operating and handling of gas appliances or wood appliances. Now, let's see, what else can I think of that you need to know? Everybody says keep a full tank of gas in your car. I agree with that. It's a very good thing. Always have a full tank of gas. Why? Because in case you ever get told to get to a mandatory evacuation, so you can get out as fast as you can. This is very important. As the people of Florida are starting to understand. Now, some people did not have enough gasoline in their car. They said, okay, I'm going to go run out to the local gas station and fill up my car. Going fine now. Sorry, we don't have no gas. We sold out. Now they're stopped. They have no way to get gas. Make sure to have a full tank of gas. If an electric vehicle, likewise, have a full tank of voltage. Go to your supercharger, and keep your battery topped off at all times. I know somebody say, yeah, but my battery's only supposed to be discharged so many times so the battery will be destroyed. Well, let's put it this way. If you got a 250 mile range on your vehicle, and you realistically get about 180 miles on it, and you know that you're going to leave the state of Florida because of evacuation, and you know that it's going to be over 180 miles away, you have two choices. One, map out multiple power charging stations on the route you're going to. Or number two, leave the electric car at home. Okay? Or you could do number three, which is, some of you have done this. Have a portable, compatible generator in your boot of your car that you can set up in a hurry with the appropriate NEMA 50R connector, which means it ain't no little generator. It's not a little put. Might be able to charge with a class 2, okay, or a class 1. If you want to charge with class 1 charging port cable, that's fine. But it's going to take a hell of a long time to charge it. Make sure you bring your charger with you anyway, in case you ever go to a hotel and they don't have a designated class 2 or class 1 charging port. At least you can still charge your car. I've been matching extension cord as well, because if you're in a motel and there is no outdoor outlet and you want to charge your car, you can always have the extension cord, heavy enough one. We're talking about 12 gauge, right? And plug it into a mains outlet in your room, and then if they say it's motel, and bring out the cord to your car, and then plug in your class 1 charger, and you can charge up. It ain't gonna be fast, but it'll be better than none at all. Okay? It's better than nothing. That's another thing. I always see everybody talk about gasoline cars, but no one ever discusses the EV guys. The EV guys are probably somebody's kind of chuckling, going, "We're okay. We can always plug into an outlet until you find out the power's out, and then you're screwed, right?" Just for you, it's just bad when you drive to a gas station. The gas station says, Sorry, I'm out of gas. I have no power. I can't pump anyway, even if I had gas. So you gotta plan ahead for that. It's the reality. It's the reality. Things are that bad. It's not gonna get away. It's not gonna get any better. Because there may be another one coming. A trifecta. A trifecta. Possibly it might be a trifecta. Get ready for this, guys. Somebody really has something up for Florida, I'll tell you that. So be careful, okay? I mean, I don't want to see you guys suffer. I really don't. Alright, so are we going to cover anything tonight on the show about this stuff? Maybe. I will certainly be catching up with the news, trying to keep up what's going on, as I understand that this is really serious, and people are rightfully very concerned for loved ones and family. And I can tell you, it is not a nice day, okay? People are rightfully very scared about it. So, please do also try to keep in contact with family. Because, again, because cell phone service may be very spotty, they may want you only to text message people. And avoid calling as much as you can. Because this happened in Katrina. The text messages were able to get out, but the phone calls couldn't. So be aware of that. You might need to use text messages instead of phone calls. It's not exactly exciting, but it is reality. Now, as I also pointed out this morning, the vlogs I did with Krista yesterday did extremely well. And very well, 132 views and 51 comments with 19 likes. And so I'm hoping this video will also do as well. And I am not a hurricane expert. I do hope that some of my suggestions will help you. Okay? And also, I'm going to go get some stuff. It's come CVS. I didn't get last week or yesterday because we didn't get a chance to. Because I told Chris I can get stuff today. I got another can of tobacco. Of course, got the other tobacco here. So I have tobacco. Now, what I wanted to get yesterday was some more of those little sliders from White Castle, because we don't have any. I like them because they're good. I tried some of those ones from Dollar General, but they weren't sliders. They're okay. And I like the little White Castle sliders. They're really good, you know, and they're easy to make. Just put them in the toaster oven for 30 minutes. Just wrap them up in foil, and they will cook about 25-30 minutes. Your choice. If they're frozen, if I'm going to put them for about 30-35, and then you can eat them. Ding, it's done. Then you just eat them. You know, quick and easy. Microwave, I don't have one, so I got rid of my microwave years ago. About a year ago, 2 years ago, because I didn't use it anyway. It's easy to do. It's easy to. I also got leftover pizza from last night. A 7-cheese pizza from Mama Cozy from Aldi. Is it good? Yes. But it's very, very, very filling. And for that reason, I would say if you're going to eat a 7-cheese pizza, I know that somebody's going to come up with a 12 cheese, you can bet. And some might even come up with a 6 meat or something. It's crazy what they're coming up with food sciences these days. But what's also crazy is the prices haven't really come down any. But I guess we can expect that. So for now, I'm going to let you guys go. Stay out of trouble, and I'll talk to you real soon. Okay? Bye-bye.